a wonderful good evening or good day or whatever time it might be when you're opening this up. We're playing some Book of Hours with the new House of Light DLC, which I can wholeheartedly recommend. This time while I'm streaming this, it's not currently released, and I want to feature the game alongside with a playthrough camera here, with the goal to narrate as much as possible from the game, as atmospheric as I can, as this game is seriously a treat if you're into gothic horror goodness, so to speak. So yeah, I have a couple of ideas. My idea here is to make it a very chill playthrough where you can enjoy the writing of the game, and I'm of course going to explain how stuff works as I usually always do. So, I have bested the techniques, and we're now going to go into a new game together. Hey, Paperboy, long time no see, I know. Happy that you're around. So, there has been no librarian at Hush House since the fire, 7 years now. We're brancrug March 7th, 1936. Suitable candidates are very difficult to find, but perhaps we have found one in you. Take care on your journey. The seas around brancrug are treacherous. Wonderful. So, thunder growling, waves pounding, and finally me, sprawled on the sodden sand of the beach. There's something in my hand. And one other thing before we go over this, I want to say sorry in advance for all the words that I'm butchering by reading them wrongly, because this game has a language that is, well, let's say I'm learning a lot of new words while playing this. You will too. Hello, Kelp. Welcome. Yeah, I gotta say, videos first, then the streams. So I've had a hard time lately bringing up streams, but I want to get this series going as the stream format is the best one that I can take for this one. So we have our health. We're half drowned. We have a memory of a storm, and we have a book. The one possession I kept from the shipwreck. It must be important to me. Yes, very much so. Okay, so we're going to inspect the book. Perhaps this book can help me put the pieces together. So, we're not able to do this like that, but here, there was a storm. It smashed the ship like an egg, but I seized this book as the sea seized me, and the sea brought me here to brancrug. Yeah, I'm a librarian, and we're going to enjoy this. Good. So there's... what else did I lose in the storm? Yeah, I wanted to be in brancrug. There's a couple of things. Yeah, okay. So we get to now select what kind of character traits we want to have.
This is very personal.
Mr. Peekaboo? Lots of thanks. Have I played Cultist Simulator before? Yes, a lot. I love the world of Weather Factory. This is, to me, a treat, and I wanted to do this since a pretty long time, and I finally found the strength to take this marathon. Cultist Simulator is an amazing game, too. My pleasure, Peekaboo, my pleasure. So, we get to select now whether to choose from Fet, Shapt, or Chore. If you're new to the world of this here, this does say nothing to you. But I have a plan. I want to play the most sinister and hubris-ridden person out there to... You know, you can take different paths, and I want to shape the world anew. Stuff like that. There's a couple of things that you can do. So, Bet is, as far as I remember, yeah, that's the one with dream. That's a little bit of a mystical connection, eloquence, heart, and rhythm. Well, I'm going to opt into this one. Yeah, I need to combine these together like that. An artist? Possibly. The human soul has 9 parts. Fet is the part of the soul that dreams. Yes, yes. That's what we're going to go for. This is the coast where brancrug Isle lies. I've seen it in my dreams, night after night. I know there's no way I can cross to the isle in these seas. I'll need to find shelter for the night. So we get new options here. So Whist is, well, an attribute that is very much linked to stuff like necromancy. Arab, pride, compassion, hatred, and fear. Well, we definitely need that. If we want to be into the Hoopers game, we need some of that. Definitely. I keep forgetting that I need to combine that with the book. Arab is the shadow in the soul cellar. Pride, fear, hatred, compassion. Yes, yes. I think it's interesting that it has bright and dark colors. I wanted something I didn't have. I don't have very much at all now, do I? I suppose that should make it easier. First things first, I remember there's someone in the village who will give me sanctuary, if I can get there. Chore is also a pretty nice one, but the good part is you get all of the attributes in the long run. You really only select the beginning. But the interesting part is that the beginning very much defines your entire road. There are a couple of beginning choices that define what kind of an adventure your librarian takes. I love this game for the true depth of multiple choice pathing here. So we have the address of an old friend. Mrs. Kill is the handy woman, the midwife of Brancrug village. I knew her long ago in Paris when her surname was not Kill but Reveline. Oh, all right. That's an interesting name that comes up later a lot. And her sister was a viscountess. Her home is always open to me, though she's asked me not to bring up the title thing when Mr. Kill's around. I can find shelter for tonight under the roof once I've reached Brancrug village. Okay, nice. It's a completely different path than I took the first time. So, Brancrug village, sanctuary in the storm. I'll need help to climb the cliffs in the dark, and the locals are suspicious of outsiders. More than ever so since the restoration and the new king. So, well, I don't have anything that I can interact here. I would need something with a sky aspect and an assistance aspect, and, well, there's something happening here. Brancrug village must be nearby, but it's hard going, dragging my soaked body across the soaked sands in the teeth of this wind. Which way? We have a fear memory. Wonderful. Grail is a wonderful trade for any type of baddie that you want to play. It is one of the most sinister paths out there, and Arab combines Edge and Grail. Edge is also her cheese. Okay, so let's see. We need to dry the book. I can't do anything with these, can I? So, I can use this here. Did I dream of this beach and this wind? If I did, I might remember the path I took in that dream. Path which brought me light. So, the fisherman's assistance. A fisherman from Brancrug village. He can guide me up the cliff path, if he trusts me. So, what do I need to do, man, to make you trust me? A name. I, of course. Be someone that'll speak for you. Yeah, of course. Since 1930 and the Restoration, the locals have grown ever more suspicious of foreigners. I still don't know what the Restoration is, sadly, but, one day I will. So, I'll take you by the cliffstone. This gentleman is no longer skeptical. Well done, Icon. So, we're going to drag this bad boy up here, and he'll unlock Brancrug village for us. This sleepy old nest, guards, or library. So, we're going to visit Mr. and Mrs. Kill. Mrs. Kill struggles with the door. The wind almost snatches it from her hands. Okay. I'm gonna drag my half-drowned body there. So... Mr. K constructed the bed himself. I rather fear with the same tools he uses to shape coffins. It is not a comfortable bed, but it's dry, clean, and warm. A bed made by a coffin maker. That's slightly morbid. But only slightly morbid. Mrs. K and I sit up late talking over old times in the Latin Quarter, when the world and we were very different. Mr. K listens as he cleans his pipe. Wine and roses, he observes. Suppose the wine is all spilled now, but the roses will come up again, won't them? Alright, I have a hindsight memory and health. Wonderful. So memories are a very, very powerful thing in this game. Let's see, we're going to use our soul skill to invite Mrs. Kill to help us. So, there we go. We have now the midwife's assistance. Good. So we can bring her to the forge or to the to the inn. I haven't come alone. Mrs. Kill asks one surly youth about his mother's health and clouds another round on the back of the head when she suspects him of looking at me funny. So if you don't put her in here, you are not going to... A sea of hostile faces is what we're dealing with here. So, the sweet bones are open for us now. Eventually, the other patrons unbend enough to let me buy them a pint, and let me listen to them complain about the weather. I'll find a warmer welcome here next time. That's very good, because we need to dry our book. Clock ticks into the snug. A distant wireless crackles musically. Carefully, page by page, I dry the book. So this'll take a while, but we don't have much more to do right now. There we go. The book looks completely different, like the book that I have on my different run that I'm currently playing without camera. It's wonderful. So, the binding is unusual and half familiar. Some kind of silk. It survived its soaking remarkably well. Wonderful. So, let's see if we can read it now. So, studying requires effort. I can't study with my soul, though, with my health, though. So, we're going to go and offer our health for manual labor for today. There is not much work on offer in brancrug, but I can find 6 pence worth of odd jobs. There we go. That's at least something. I could now use this money to restore one of my skills. Actually, let's do that. 2 pence gives us a meal, so... It is spring, and the landlady has served me a slice of a starry-gazy pie. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm not British. With the pilchard heads poking cheekily through the hot crust. I do know, though, that this is a dish where actually there's fish heads poking out of your pie, in case you're not familiar with pilchards. I had to look it up. It looks disgusting, but I guess it tastes well. Either way, I have restored my Arab. And that allows me to read my book, I guess. There we go. A journal. My journal. The silken binding is familiar, but the storm so scattered my thoughts. Godric, welcome. Happy to see you. So, if everything goes as it should, I will stream as often as I can this week, up until the release of the DLC, because, you know, I want to feature as much as I can and give this game as much time and attention and love as it deserves. Seriously. If you are into good horror writing and stuff, this is one of the best things that I've ever played in my life. A journal. My journal, I'm sure of it. The storm scattered my thoughts, but each page I turn is familiar. I begin to recall now why I came here. For art. Better yet, for art. A really, really big art. Somebody said something about artist? Huh? Here we go. So the book gave me another rank of Arab. Let's see. Let's fixate the book in our skill tree. And that'll give me Trist. The change and the longing. There we go. Alright, the thing is, this game doesn't look like horror, but if you read the texts themselves, you know, I don't like graphical gore or such. I like the stuff that sends a shiver down my spine because it inspires my fantasy on spots where it doesn't want to be inspired. I'll be reading out loud all the books that we have here. I want to see when you guys are feeling it. Eventually, we all will. Anyways, we need to... Can we actually get another round with Mrs. Kill? Yes, brilliant. Hopefully, before the night breaks. Denzel! A mutual acquaintance will introduce me to Denzel the Smith. I might get 6 or even 10 words out of him if I'm patient. So, Denzel is a surprising source of practical advice. The smithy is now available. Brilliant. So, we have now a couple of people to help us. There's just this wonderful person that is not ready to talk with us. But Timothy will also be saying hi to us soon. In my previous playthrough, I had this guy here as my starting NPC. It's a really, really cool system where you always have a different life at your disposal. So, good morning, brancrug. It's a cloudy weather today. So, the mist-cloaked bridge requires a helper that is either forge, lantern, or sky attributed. Well... Do I have any of these available? Forge, lantern, or sky? Not really. Shame. So for Denzel to help me, I'll need money. He'll do anything just for money. So here, I neither have any of the attributes here, so I'll have to eventually just wait for the right weather. Oh man, that's frustrating. So this one will need skills for, but whatever. We're going to see Mrs. Kill again, and we're also going to get ourselves some work done. Wait a sec. Edge doesn't give me money? This is different. Alright, interesting. I didn't even know that edge skills have a different impact there. Today I learned. So, the rectory is locked to me, sadly. Let's see what we could do here. The tidal flats would require somebody with a moon influence or winter. Well, I can make that happen. It's a little bit clunky, but whatever. So people can be influenced by the most different things. So, for example, we're going to talk about the clouds with Mrs. Kill. The clouds have moon aspect. So, for the remainder of the day, she's influenced by the moon aspect. Just like that. And now we can also use one of our soul cards. I'll use Trist to add another rank of moon on her. And then she'll help me to open up the cliff there. Sad thing is, it doesn't help me at all on the on getting closer to the library. A regret memory. Yeah, okay, brilliant. That'll work. So the midwife's assistance is now compatible to breach this thing. As you see, we need 2 moon ranks. Put that on her. Boom. Currently, unlocking the Crowcross Sands is absolutely useless for me, as everything that I can do here is only relevant later. But, whatever. So, we need to go here and restore some of our Ereb. Ah, no, I misplayed it. Okay, whatever. This game we have endless amounts of time, so that's the last of my worries. But what am I doing with my time now? Oh, it did actually work. Okay, brilliant. So, let's go to Mrs. Kill one more time. And since I have that regret memory, everything now is going to be fine. You can only apply each time you hire them everything once. So I can only apply one memory, one soul card, and one whatever different thing. So previously I wasn't able to add this memory, but it was okay. So here we go. Give me a sec. Before we unlock this, I wanted to give this text a nice moment. Mist-cloaked bridge. Every so often, someone builds a bridge to the Isle. Each bridge lasts 100 years or 200, then the sea disposes of it. This was built in the 1890s, and that makes the newest bridge. But that doesn't mean it's new. Cucurbit Bridge. I hope this is properly pronounced. I'm doing my best here. Hush House has been many things over the centuries, including in the nocturnal period of 1896 and 1929, a gale? I need to look this word up. I have no clue how this is properly pronounced. No one remembers that period fondly, but at least it meant Nocturnal Branch paid for a new bridge. So the bridge is not really important here. The lodge at the gate is. So, well, if I've seen that correctly, we might be even able to open up that thing today, but I won't. Instead, I'm going to give me some time to earn some money. We need that. Here we go. Using up all my soul cards for the remainder of the day. Giving me some money for the next few days. I mean, this is just pennies, but whatever. It'll do the trick. So, hello there. Good morning, Mrs. Kill. So, it's rainy weather today. That has Grail and Nectar influence. So, the good thing is the midwife comes with 2 ranks of Grail and 1 rank of Heart on her own, so she can open up the gate for us, naturally. A cottage where Hush House's groundskeeper lived, until the fire. If I can't get into the place and make it habitable, I can use it as a base for reclaiming more of the house. So this'll take a few seconds. We can't really do much to gain the trust of the of Reverend Timothy right now, but it doesn't really matter that much. I'll be getting back to him later. There we go, Hush House in its whole glory. Now, this is my personal space, and we're going to go over these things here. So the game here works a lot like this. This village was just an intro. This is the real deal. So each of these rooms has interactables. Everything here, from the plant to the box of tea, the chair, everything is usable as well. So that's a fun thing. Hush House key, heavy enough that it takes both hands to turn. Heavy enough to brain someone, though you'd need both hands for that too. We'll need that key, though, to unlock the house. The great gate of the house. The walls of the house tower above me. I have been told that it was abandoned after a fire, but there is no sign of any such thing. The building will no doubt need restoration, but it's in better shape than I'd feared. Books are the memory that does not die, reads the inscription above the gate, and that is one of the most poetic things that I've seen since a while. I love this one. Books are the memory that does not die. Let's take a minute to turn that key, obviously. Like the game said, it's a heavy and big key. There we go. Watchman's Tower, Gatehouse. Back in the 11th century. Voice. Back in the 11th century, Brian of Brittany built the tower and its gate to protect St. Brendan's Abbey, as Hush House was then known. Later, the barons de Wolf strengthened the gate against their many enemies, but it's a long time now since Hush House was any kind of fortress, and by the time the scholars of the Curia took possession, this place had long been a comfortable waiting room for visitors to the house too minor to merit immediate attention. Yeah, this is a typical waiting room. So, the most interesting things here is, well, nothing. In all honesty, this is one of the least interesting rooms, loot-wise, except for the details here. You see, every one of these drawings has its own description. The Tattered Outlaw. Versa Blake, 7th librarian of Hush House, liked painting donkeys. No one else liked her donkey paintings, but Versa never much cared what other people liked. You see, this donkey painting, though, we're going to investigate it, because it has its use. So, bear with me. And the donkey. So, what I learned, for some reason, this donkey has human eyes. There's also a cigarette holder with no cigarette sticking coyly out of the corner of its mouth. So this is a level of detail that this game has. These items have all a secret little line hidden to themselves. So we also attained a sight memory. The eye sees more than the heart knows. Yeah. I use this now to gain the trust of the Reverend. The Reverend will only talk to people that are influenced by the lantern aspect, which is exactly what this memory will provide. There we go. Knowing these things, like knowing that looking at a painting triggers a sight memory, this is very, very powerful meta-knowledge for the game, so... But it's a fun little trip. So, Reverend Timothy is a hospitable soul, but Terence, his housekeeper, guards her employer fiercely. She doesn't want his innocent theological enthusiasms getting him in trouble with the new king's men. Yeah. So we can now use her to get a door here opened. A mutual acquaintance, blah blah. Yep. There we go. Reverend Timothy's tea goes cold while he expostulates about post-restoration policies and theorizes about the pagan traditions of the miners. The rectory is now available, and we also gained a gossip memory. Not bad. Although I don't think I can use it right now. So let's see. Oh, wait a sec. No. So we have 2 books already identified. This one, Traveling at Night Volume 1, requires 4 points of Nock to be read, and this one requires 2 points of Sky to be read. For the remainder of the day, I'll be cataloging those books here. See those bundles? Those are books that aren't cataloged yet. We don't know what's inside the book, what's inside the box yet. So, from the YouTube's channel, Texas Are Scary. No, this is being released at the 26th of this month. The DLC, that is. It's just here, me exploring my way towards there. I'm going to go in this series also over the content of the DLC, bit by bit, but we're a little bit further away from that right now. Alright, I'm just putting the books that I'm identifying right now just on the shelf, because there's not much that we can do with these. I even got here a phonograph record. Seriously? Alright. Without a proper device, we can't even do anything with that. Okay. New day dawns. Let's see. The gatehouse stairs do require somebody with forge or lantern aspect. And the cloistered garden is unlocked with lantern and nectar. I remember that the post office has something for me. The postmistress regards me with the chilly gaze of a goddess image in an ancient hill shrine. The librarian, says she, yes, I have something for you. Wait here, please. Very important. The postmistress returns with an envelope addressed to the librarian, Hush House, Brancrug Isle, postmarked in Wales a week ago. So we found a letter to the librarian, a letter to me from St. Ronwin's Trust. The Trust's connection with Hush House is probably benevolent, but persistently obscure. And money. So 120 pence. That's really, really good. So, money from more bosses. Let's unlock the room up here. I need forge or lantern for that. Luckily, Denzel and Timothy can help me out. I'm going to go towards Denzel's though, because my stats are more fitting to this. So, let's just give him some money and get the job done. I'm not reading every text box here, but I'm trying to breathe in as much atmosphere into the gameplay here. So Denzel comes built in with forge and edge aspects, so he can repair the gatehouse stairs with ease. The stairs to the room above are blocked with debris and the plaster is peeling from the walls. I'll need help from the village to clear and restore the place. Yeah, that's pretty tame. Okay, is there anything else that I can do currently? Not really. I have sunny weather, that's lantern and sky aspect providing. Let's see. Do I have anything that this would be benefiting from? Not at all. Too bad. Trying to get books, to read books is one of the most important ways to get stronger early on. There we go, Watchman's Tower, first floor. The notorious Eva de Wolf, first and last Baroness Brancrug, liked this room, because this side of the house carried fused memories of her poor father Valentine, so she could eavesdrop on the conversations of visitors waiting below, or just because of how the pale light slanted through the windows in the last days of winter. We'll probably never know. What I do know, though, is that I have now access to a desk. So at the desk, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to answer the letter to the librarian. We have some ink here, Ugol ink, very easy to replace. And we can now select the tone of our response. Let's try them out both. So an enigmatic reply. The sea remains, the house remains. What else remains we shall learn in time. I am something new, and in time I will learn what that means. Yeah, that is truly enigmatic. And a charming reply. The journey was difficult, but nothing could keep me from the house, and the place is everything I had imagined, or will be, once I've restored it to its old glory. That is absolutely the answer of a megalomaniac. I love it. So, there we go. A satisfaction memory. Wonderful. So, memories are really, really valuable and powerful in this game. 3 flowers hath the tree. That's a low difficulty book, which I can't read right now either. So there's a lot of books here in that one, but let's see. So the top floor of the Watchman's Tower is easily opened by Mrs. Kill. And let's see. The cloistered garden, well, I could make that happen with the sunny weather here too. Anyways, I want to get as much done as possible. And Mr. and Mrs. Kill are not open for business today anymore. Ah, well, too bad. Let's see. I can't talk with anybody right now. That sucks. So we're going to have a meal here once more. Some more of that fish pie to get our senses back together. There we go. So with that, we're going to talk to this lady here. And yeah. Let's go to the Watchman's Tower. The ceiling bows worryingly under a damp patch. There must be a leak in the observatory. The sun above knows what state it's in. I should seek help and enter carefully. Yeah. And I looked for help. So, well, the day leans towards its end. I'll put my diary back here. It's a place where I return. And I'd say we're going to unlock a couple of these books. So, Watchman's Tower, Observatory. Thomas the Wolf, 2nd Baron brancrug, who they called Baron Silence, built this observatory in 1576. By happy coincidence, just in time to observe the passage of the Great Comet in 1577. Alright. The Leonine Tantra. Well, that's with difficulty 8, that's far beyond my skill for now. Probably feel lucky if I can read a book with difficulty 4. 2 wombs, 1 hard. Ugh. Hard lore. So we're to store those that we can't read for now here. Yeah, so time's over for today. Let's restore our senses. Okay, daybreak. What weather is it today? Gale. Trees bend, walls creak, travelers bend low against the blast. This is a strong weather. Too bad that I don't think that I have any books that I can read with that. Or, well, there's a it's too difficult for it to stay. Well, is what it is, I'd say. Let's see. The cloistered garden can be easily unlocked by the Reverend. If I had any traits to talk with him. Oh boy. I can't even talk with the Reverend at this point. Oof. I had no clue it would be like that. So I should have better used that sunny weather the other day. Dang. Ah well. Let's cook some Dawn Line coffee and see. If that can help me out of my problems. Yeah, that's absolutely a help. So, you can give a lot of things to your helpers. Among these are beverages. That coffee induces a nice flare of lantern. Just what I need. Good. Just need to know how to help yourself. Okay, but in the meantime, I'm also going to translate or catalog all these books. It's really, really important. I won't be getting anything done before I have read at least one book or more. So, we're going to give this lady here a fine drink. There, online coffee. Let's have a sip. And here, wrapped in the king. I will describe the books and their contents when we are actively reading them. Talking about the books and their content before we are reading them is, I don't know. I think it wouldn't, the impression wouldn't last. So, we can now unlock the cloistered garden, because I have now lantern influence on this young lady. I can make out a green and shaded space, but it's choked with weeds and thorns. I'll need help to clear the space. Yeah. Dreadpool! Hi there. Happy to see you. So, Etery After. Oh man, so many Challenge 8 books. These are so far out beyond my reach. But it's okay. We're gonna get there. The Rose of Wasney. Also a difficulty 8 book. Dang. Simply Stin from the YouTube. I'm doing really, really fine. I love what I'm doing here. Thanks for asking. So. Oh, I need to take my reply, of course, to the post office as well. So, there we go. Totally forgot about that one. So, now I can expect visitors, correspondence, and a stipend from the trust every spring. Wonderful. With that money, we're gonna be able to unlock more of this place. So, St. Brendan's Cloister. The sisters and brothers of the abbey built these gardens in the 13th century, at the height of the period we now call Solar Gothic. Walk here a while and breathe the peace they left. Yeah, someday later we are gonna be able to collect flowers and stuff here. Well, if you're into games like these, the DLC is amazing, as it brings in so much more of what the game already does well. You get a new crafting system, you get to cook, and you get to know all the fascinating NPCs of the game better. You get to host parties for them, and you get a lot of dialogue, and you get more of their character visible. I love that. I mean, I'm a total fanboy when it comes down to anything that is has been omitted by or has been made by Whale Factory. I'm completely lost. All right, I will consume it until until I have no more time. I love this stuff. Anyways, so a new day. It's rainy weather, grail and nectar weather. So there's 2 points of nectar here. The problem is I'd need something with 1 more point of nectar. Well, if I would be lucky, there's a fair chance. When you try to read a book, you need to achieve at least 4 points, or whatever the number says in that given aspect. I have rain, that is 2 points. I have health, that is 3 points. And if you don't have enough points, you get 3 randomly chosen things that you are allowed to use to read that freaking book. So, well. Joshua Mello, I love to hear that. Yeah, Songs of Six is quite a confusing game to begin with. But don't give up. It's well worth the effort. And I've had several things confusing me in the game as well for a pretty long time. And all I can say is it does become so much better the longer you stick to it and, you know, keep going is all I want to say. So I just had an idea what we probably could do. So, well... Oh no, I can't do that because it won't work like that. Well, we're going to try our luck, I'd say. This could work, so we're going to try and make it work. So, let's see. Try to read this book here. Can we? No. Not at this desk. Okay, so we're going to use the soul skill here, the rain here. I don't have any skills that I could use, sadly, and now let's hope for the best. Hey, Simply Stin. Yeah, it's I think I've talked a second ago. Must have hopped from the YouTube over to this place here. So, extra effort, soul. I can't use that. Art and a memory. Dang it. This is not really good. So let's see. Does this count as art? Yes, it does. But, well, let's see. Oh, look at that. The Reveline Summer. It is a nectar art piece. Oh, okay. So later down the road, things get a lot easier when you have more soul aspects and such. But the first few books, they're always the hardest to read. But we got off lucky here. So here we get to use the wall art. And I didn't expect to get that lucky, but there we are. As you see, there's really not much wall art objects to choose from right now. And as it stands, it's seriously only the only one with a nectar influence. But it doesn't matter. It worked. Okay, my friends, we have our first book. So I'll need something to oil these vocal cords for a second. That's a weird one, this book. So, 3 flowers hath the tree. Ernestine Petterhands records her observations of the growths of trees and flowers around the isle, and the omens and portents she attempts to draw from them, particularly the yew tree in Earl Brian's meadow, whose flowerings are sometimes eccentric. This tree, by the way, I found this in my previous playthrough today. It's pretty mid game and it's a pretty spooky place. Ernestine observes that in years when the tree flowers black, troubling secrets arise. When it flowers red, war and fires follow, and that no DeWolf heir has ever been born in a year when it flowers white. Ernestine attempts to use the tree's growths to advantage in her business affairs, but it fails. She's evidently very concerned when Hendrik de Wolf's grandson Giles runs off with a pale trollop Haffron in a year when the tree flowers white. She begins to fear she has entirely misinterpreted all the relevant omens. She's deeply concerned for the continuation of the de Wolf line and prays for Giles' return. This whole flight of Giles with this girl, we're going to hear more about that story quite regularly. So this is a book that contains a gossip memory, and most importantly, it left me a lesson of a skill: leaves and thorns. So now we're talking. Now we are in business. The other thing that this does for me is I need to catalog this book right here, right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the memory to this bookshelf, so to speak. So whenever I read this book now, I can read it now without passing the skill check. I get this kind of memory. So I have now access to Grail aspect and Rose aspect. So what I'm going to do here is label it Gossip, 2 Rose, 1 Grail. And now, whenever I need these skill ranks in any way, I have it now available. And I'll do that now for all of these shelves, all of the different memories. I've done this in my previous game playthrough, and it works charm for me. So, just in case you are looking for something like that too. Sadly, the gossip memory doesn't serve me at all currently. Oh, don't say that, icon. There is, as you see, a nice rose influence there. Cool. So, wonderful. I can open up the next corridor with that. So, Mrs. Kill. And the other thing is we're going to learn this leaves and thorns skill right away. So, the midwife will now get some rose collaboration. And let's see. Is there any item in here, any tool or something like that, that has also a rose quality? So the astrolabe is sky, the mirror scope is lantern. Yeah, okay. Was to be expected, but the thing is, tools, they don't get used up if you apply them. to a assistant. And if I now apply my fet, it'll be exhausted for the remainder of the day. That's all. Alright, so leaves and thorns, there is no scent without sorrow. So now I can use this to read books. I have now 2 points of nectar and 1 point of grail if I need to read a book, which is absolutely good. Alright, so let's invest more of that. And while we're at it, let's visit the skill board. So, at the skill board, you can assign your skills that you have learned to all these different types of skills. Ithastry, Illumination, Hushery, Nyctodromy, and many others. So, I can assign Leaves and Thorns only to either Birdsong or the Bosk. So, the fun part is, if I place it down here, I get a Lorbit, and if I place it down here, I also get a Lorbit. So, in this playthrough, I'm always going to choose the Lorbit that sounds more megalomaniac. Simple, right? Looking up. The gardener's first lesson is this. Look up. What starts as weather ends in the world. What starts as sky ends in the soil. This is what the birds know, and the birds know most things first. Alright, that is wonderful, enigmatic. Looking down. The gardener's first lesson is this. Know your thorns. Know your poisons. There's no point thinking about tomorrow when we aren't expecting to live through today. This is the lesson our ancestors learned the hard way in the wood. This is Bosk. So, well, neither of these really sound too megalomaniac to me. That's a little bit problematic to me. Well, I think I'm going to still stick to the to this one here. So, we gained another point of health out of that. Which sadly doesn't really help me in certain aspects, but it helps me in other aspects. Among these, I am now able to go beachcombing. I use health and, oh, we can't use this here. Okay, Leaves and Thorns is not a collection skill. Too bad. Many of them are. So, let's see. Sea Holly in the summer, Blue Crown in winter. It's spring currently, so that won't work either. Okay. But we can open up this next corridor here. The first true threshold. I've reached the threshold of the house proper. The librarians of the Curia were scholars of note. Some were potent adepts. From here I should proceed carefully, observing the proper forms, making the appropriate offerings. The villagers and other locals know the ways of the earth and sea hereabouts. Their assistance will be invaluable. The descriptions of the hindrances become cooler and cooler the longer we strive through this. Stolen Histories, Scale 4. That's a very easy to read book. It's a very, very good one. Although we, well, 4 points of scale are easier said than done. That's all I can say. There we go. Let's catalog a few more books. Opus Magnum Ceruleum, Lantern 14. You gotta get far into the game until you can read these. Those are the really cool books, by the way. So I'm going to start working a little bit here in the tavern for the remainder of the day. You can't use health to catalog books for some reason. So this card here. The entrance hall, the beginnings of the house proper. The Curia used to issue gloves and slippers of soft leather to protect the books and premises. Visitors were often asked to remove their shoes, pause a moment and listen to the histories. So we could absolutely explore each and every one of these pieces of art, and maybe we will do on another occasion, but not now. So, let's collect our money. And let's see. It's a sunny day. Wonderful. So I really am a tad bit unhappy about the fact that I am not able to hire Timothy the Reverend. But what we can do, though, is... Oh, I can't even hire Mr. Kill. Oh, shoot. I don't have whist for that. Well, so let's see if I have any substance that can induce lantern to somebody. Then we could enter it. Ah, never mind me. Never mind me. We have the mirror scope, which has 1 point of lantern aspect. Mrs. Kill. Alright. Oh, we get our first visitor to the, Oh, okay. A package from Dr. Serena Blackwood, who once also served as librarian here. Librarian, I remember very well how remote brancrug is from the world. In Alexandria, I have both a telegraph office and more company than I can easily stand. You will, I think, make better use of this than I. The writing case. So this is where we will store the addresses of all the people that we can eventually, DLC-wise, invite to our dinner parties. Clofters, hi there. Yeah, I've never been away. Streaming is just a little bit of a more straining task for me, you know. I'll put it down bluntly. I'm pretty autistic, and being streaming is much more strainful for me than doing videos. So I love streaming, but I only can do so much as I can do without burning myself out. I'm sure you guys understand. It's just how I am wired. But I do as much as I can because I love streaming, getting in touch with all of you, of course. So, we are going to slap that tool in her hands. Maybe not that, maybe that's the wrong wording, but... Alright. Mrs. Kill now is armed with the mirror scope, and this will help her to unlock the Long Tower's first floor. The Long Tower looks like it's been abandoned much longer than 7 years. In the nocturnal period, the inhabitants probably spent most of the time on the seaward side of the isle. I'll need help to restore the room above. So, there we go. But I felt like this playthrough, with all the narrative and such, I wanted to do this so badly because the writing is so superb, and I feel like superb writing is such fun to narrate it proper. It's just so good. Alright, we have our first incident, the affair of the particular mystique. So, in the world, things happen. In the arcane and occult world, especially. And we will now have visitors that'll ask us about the happenings there, and will ask us to get books to do their researches about these affairs. So I have read that the DLC increases the amount of things that you can do with these, but I haven't come into touch with that part myself yet. So, the Suppression Bureau has a growing interest in the recent fad for unconventional, often prophetic religious movements. No laws have been broken, nothing sinister has come to light. All these movements are comfortingly solar in nature, but there does seem to be something going on. So the Suppression Bureau, I want to give that as much away as much. It is sort of a modern age Inquisition in the world of this game. So, our first visitor, Mr. Fraser Strathcoyne, there's a booze named after this man. Philanthropist, collector, former librarian, a complicated man, but not a cruel one. So, this guy speaks a language that I'd love to learn, but, well... Alright, I don't know what that one is, but, anyways. It works like that. We're going to talk to this fine young gentleman here. Librarian, I have urgent business with you, and then we are going to go talk about the incident. Perhaps you know something about Obliviates, Librarian, an order of Long who have forsworn traffic with the hours. So I don't know all the slang myself yet, but Long are immortals. So whenever we are talking about Long, these are people who have tricked death one way or another. So try a book with as much mystery lantern as their interest. So this guy has a interest of 3 in lantern, so that ain't much. So the Rose of Wasney will definitely work. Let's see if I have a lower challenge book, because you can only show them books once. If they come back with a similar problem, they won't be reading that book another time. But yeah, I am happy that I at least have one. I really hope that is a language this gentleman understands. It's not. That is bad news. Because I don't think... the Opus Magnum Ceruleum. I can't believe this is a coincidence. The Obliviates are back in the world, and the Obliviates never come back to the world. Something is afoot in Port New. I don't know anything about the Obliviates, although I can say the word seems to originate from oblivion, which is very much about forgetting things, so... sounds like something that shouldn't come back to the world indeed. Yes, Treadball, very much so. I am currently playing in the background a satisfactory run with my wife that I use for my guides. Alright, so that book is just, it's just going to be read, it's not going to be consumed. And let's keep cataloging new books while I still have energy to do so. Alright, so On Resonance, a Sky book. Alright, so this gentleman has now taken action on the affair. Fraser Strathcoyne believed that something had drawn the Obliviates, the Long who secluded themselves in Port Noon, back to the world. Okay. We also gained his address and a bronze spintria. These items are occult coins. We can learn new languages for these. It's the primary use early on. Eva's Treasury, another sky book. Okay. So, do I have any unidentified books at the moment? No. So, Long Tower, Solomon's Study. In 1818, the Very Reverend Solomon Husher became third librarian of the Curia of the Isle. He took rooms in the Long Tower as his quarters. Husher's tastes were Spartan. Although the Curia generally liked a little more luxury, no one ever quite dared to redecorate the place after his disappearance. So, yeah. We have here yet another desk, some ink, some whispering sand, Naveen parchment, but most importantly, some uncatalogued books. So, up here we have 4 winter or 4 lantern. This is, for my current expertise, a pretty rough trip. The Chandler's Wish. Lantern 12. Ooh. Those are quite some difficult to read books, but that's okay. So, I'll be tossing my abilities back for sale here so we get some more money. I mean, it is not that important after all, but I personally do like to have spent my soul cards by the end of the day. Deeper you get into the game, the more difficult it gets to spend all the soul cards because they really pile up. But as you see there, it brought me the money to do something, and money is a quite important resource in this game after all, especially in the beginning. The longer you play, the easier it gets to achieve money, but well, it's a cloudy day. Cloudy weather is one of the least useful weathers. So, Tangle of Thorns, we can easily unlock this one. Grail 4, that's very easy to achieve for me. Heart 3, well, that ain't as easy to achieve. And Heart 4, Winter 4, well... Okay, we're going to go and unlock that place. Those places we can unlock easily first. So we're just going to apply our Areb and get her on Grail 4 this way. Easy like that. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to replenish my Areb for today. There we go. It is summer. I am sitting on the bench outside the Sweet Bones, eating crumbly cheese in nettle wrappings and good black rye bread, soaking up the sun. I love these little texts. They're so... I don't know. There's really a lot of things there. Flower garden, now overrun with thorned weeds and briar rose. Alright. So, we've cataloged this one, On the Winding Stair. Oh, great. That one is written in Ramsund. The previous visitor of our library was able to teach me that language, but I wasn't able to pay him. Such is life. Well. The Scent Garden. This too dates from the times of the Abbey, but in summer neither sisters nor brothers were permitted to spend more than a single hour here, lest the temptation of savors overwhelm them. So here we have summer, moth orchids in spring and summer. For the first time I can do something with my skills, so let's do this. There we go. So I'll be adding Strathcoin's card into my coffer here. And now we have an occult scrap. So these are persistent memories. Unlike other memories, this one doesn't get deleted when we head into the next day, which is pretty good. So let's see. Knock, Moth, and Rose. Let's see where we can apply that. Nowhere. Now that's fun. Alright. Too bad. There's 2 points of knock involved on traveling at night. I mean, that's so far a good start. Let's see. But yeah. Not really the help that I was hoping for. So... how do we continue? I mean, with the changing weather, I will be able to get myself opportunities sooner or later to do something. But, yeah, well. Could have saved that money on the Arib. So, let's cook some tea. And we've gained the Hush House key back. Now, that was not what I wanted, but okay. For some odd reason, that key follows you around. I've already opened up the place, but the key is still around. I don't know why. Okay, so we have now some tea that might be... Ah, well. That's only 1 point. So... this end seems to work again. On this end it doesn't. So... my internet connection is letting me down yet again. And, oh boy, that camera was on a very, very bad spot as well. I'm very sorry. Nobody told me. So... yeah, this spot is as good as it can be. Okay. So, since we had a short problem with the techniques anyways, I'm going to get myself a refresher of my tea. So much talk about tea and my cup is empty. I'll be right back, my friends. Well, okay, that was probably very, very short 5 minutes. So the camera will come back online any moment in a few seconds. But let's just hope that everything here will work out as intended. I'm a little bit worried about my stream on YouTube, but well, we seem to be back here, so I think it should be okay. Or did the YouTube one die? So let's see. Okay, so very, very sorry for the inconvenience here. Sometimes my connection does do these things to me. Alright, it's rainy weather today. That's nectar weather. This is, not exactly what I wanted to have. So, well, walled garden. It doesn't really help me though in opening up this place. Hey Soul Ghost! Very well, thanks for asking. It's been a bit of a hectic time lately, but things are pretty great. Happy to see you again. Like I said a moment ago, the camera will come back online in a hot minute. Just need a moment with my vape in my privacy. Okay, so the tea, the astrolabe, and then we just need the proper weather, and we can open up this thing here. Currently, we can't open it up, though, because of a lack of things. So, weed-choked garden. I think I can open this place, though, because the bread should have... Yeah, alright. Mrs. Kill. Let's do this. This'll get me to the 3 points of nectar that we need. So, love to see that there's a couple of you folks around that are around for such a long time already. It's one of the coolest things. So, we're offering this fine lady a bit of bread, so her aspect in nectar will be better. And then, from what I can make out of the garden beyond, it must have been very peaceful, but now it's neglected and old. Not for long anymore, not for long. So which one is it? Soul Ghost. Now I'm curious. Physic Garden. The nuns of the Notch planted this garden of healing herbs in the dawn period. Nathan of Regensburg and Gideon the Wolf both expanded it, and the Curia of the Isle tended it. Even the Branch and the Burrow made use of it in the grim days that the brancrug served as a prison. Alright. So, let's see. Back on the camera we go. Hello, everybody. Fractured Online? Indeed, never heard of it. So, Infirmary, 4 rows. I have an occult scrap, and I have Fet. I also have a book about gossip, so what could possibly go wrong? Exactly, nothing. So, we're going to read our gossip book, because I don't want to use the occult scrap right now. Let's hire Mrs. Kill before sundown. I hope the rest of the day will be... Yeah, let's do it like that. There's not that much time left, you see. But I think we might be just in time. If not, it doesn't really... Oh. Interesting. I didn't know that. So I can't collaborate with them after sundown anymore. Too bad. Well, well. It ain't the worst thing in the world, though. So, cloudy weather yet again. Dang it. I don't like cloudy weather out of a simple reason. It is very, very low in aspects. It does not even have two ranks in anything. That's really low. Okay, so let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Unlocking the library is one of the most important things early on. So... there we go. Early days, you have so much time and so few things to do. Alright, so... careless visitors have tracked in mud through the door, and the windows have been open to the elements for years. So, that's the infirmary for you. Okay. There we go. In the infirmary, we have a couple of interesting substances. Ruby-wise ruin. Drinking cocoa, which is pretty interesting as it has a pretty nice grail influence. Serpent milk, which has astonishing qualities there. Mist-kissed water, 2 points of knock. Okay, this will help me out tremendously in getting ahead. So, let's see. Well, for today, it is too late anyways to do anything further. Looks a bit like Cluedo. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting comparison. There we go. A new day dawns. What weather is it? Sunny weather. I've been waiting for that one. Good. So finally cracking open the rest of that tower here. So sunny weather for 2 points of lantern. It's all about getting the getting enough points together for passing a skill check in this game. Personally, I like this. That is a very interesting crafting, puzzling experience. So the tea that we made the other moment. Tea from the land of the real unicorn. Imported by Cater and Hero. Can't wait to have their business card in my office soon, too. Okay. That's 3 points of lantern. And now, as a finishing touch, we use the mirror scope. Bewildering and occasionally useful. Occasionally? This thing has been useful a lot of times already. Worshippers of Cthulhu? I haven't even heard of that in all honesty. I will check it out though. Long tower, 2nd floor, freezing air, even tendrils of fog drift from the tower top. I should probably seek help from someone who knows the local traditions for dealing with restless spirits. I did. Now then, gloomy room with edge 5. It's Grand Ascent. This one is easy. I can unlock that right from the get-go. Okay. What do we have here? Long Tower, Solomon's Quarters. Generally reckoned the chilliest room in the house, the Long Tower was usually called the Winter Tower until Julian Cosley, Magus Epistler, reputed Long, dwelt here briefly in the 17th century. Solomon Husher was the second known to sleep in the room. Evidently they didn't mind the cold. Yeah, those guys are absolute hardcore necromancers. That's why they don't mind the cold. Hi there, Ash. Well, Treadbull, the thing is, games with the label Cthulhu in the last couple of years always have been a disappointment one way or another. Or, well, let's not say always, but most of them are not really adding much into it. As the legacy of Howard Philip Lovecraft, well, the man is dead for a while. That means, you know, there's not really coming anything new up in this department either. As much as I love the works of Lovecraft, well, you get what I mean. It doesn't mean that I don't think that it is not possible to do good Lovecraftian stuff. It is just that I have the feeling that quite often people try to get off quite cheap, if you get what I mean. Okay. So none of these books is particularly easy to read to begin with. So let's see. It is currently summer. Trumpeters, Lily in Summer. I'm tricking the game here. Because now it's night. But I started the task before it was night, so I can't finish it even though it is night. Gathering stuff here, you know, for the sake of gathering stuff, because you will need stuff. Lots of stuff. This game is full of stuff. You know? Alright. So let's unlock the stuff that's easily unlocked. Let's keep going like that. With the Areb of mine, I can get her up to Grail rank 4, which is just as much as we need. The trumpeter's lily, a glorious efflorescence of sunset orange. Sheesh, it's a high value of sky. Alright. Grand Ascent, 2nd floor. It is unexpectedly difficult to raise my foot to the last step before the landing. Leaf shadows drift across my sight, and the windows hiss and rattle. I have heard that Gervinus von Lauren, last librarian before me, was skilled at the forbidding of ways. Yeah, well, thanks for the tip, Treadwell. I'm all eager to see where things will lead. Okay, so flowers went on the doorstep because my inventory was full. Luckily, there's always stuff ending up at the doorstep if you can't carry it anymore. So, the motu corporum vetitorum. Oh boy. I don't even want to get started how messed up that content will be. Well, I don't know if it will be. We'll see about that. So, for now, I'm just piling up my unread books wherever and however. But not much longer. Will be organization. Grand Ascent, 2nd floor. By long tradition, each Baron brancrug had their image set in a niche in the Grand Ascent. Later, the Courier of the Isle continued the tradition for the librarians. So I really wonder if there is a hidden achievement for getting all the proper busts on the proper spots. I'm very much thinking that the answer is yes. So here, the abandoned bedroom. There's a lot of books to see already. It is pretty attainable for me as well. I would just need one more rank of rose from somewhere. Let's see. There's still a flip of summer left. Let's see. Sea holly in summer. There we go. I am so far away from needing these currently, but at the same time, I want to do something with the soul cards that I still have. No use to let them just lie around in my inventory. So, sea holly. Umbelled spiny flowers, the steel blue of a winter afternoon. There we go. Obviously, there's later crafting skills that need these flowers that we're currently plucking. So let's see what weather there is tomorrow. Sunny weather, yet again. So I'll need one more point of rose from somewhere. Let's see if I can get that. Either a tool, a drink, some food, whatever. Because it will be darned easy to get the rest done. So that tea doesn't kill it. Dandelion wine doesn't have it either. The candle doesn't work because the assistant can't carry candles. The Isle water doesn't have rose aspects. The mist-kissed water doesn't have it either. TRN limited drinking cocoa, neither. The Ruby-wise ruin would have, but it's a waste, as the Ruby-wise ruin's strongest trait is Grail, and not using it for Grail is, I don't know, it feels like a waste. Basket of towels. Oh, heart +2. Oh, shoot. Well, maybe here. Roscragan whiskey. That's what we're going to be using. You see, there's most of the time some sort of a solution if you just keep looking hard enough, which is something I love about this game. There's a very deep interaction with the world around you going on due to that. So... will I use that occult scrap? No, I don't. It is, at the end of the day, access to moth and knock as well, and I don't really have much access to these. Oh, oh, we can now order from Cater and Hero. Wonderful. So... but we might already go bottoms up on that whiskey. There we go. Almost there. Oh, Mr. Zachary Wakefield is going to visit us. So let's first see. Mrs. Zachary Wakefield can teach us Kilasimi. Alright, that's, well, pretty much already all I need to know. But before we're going to talk about Kilasimi, let's ready our expedition here. There we go. So, we're not going to help him here in the affair of the particular mystique. As much as I am curious, I'm going to learn Fuchin from this person. This guy can teach me even 2 languages, Kilasimi and Fuchin. Yeah, well, you can only learn 1 language at a time, sadly, but, well, it's okay. So, Rose 5. Oh, no, I just realized that I botched it up. I would have needed to talk to Mrs. Kill before I did that, because I haven't done this yet. No. Well, maybe I get off lucky, but I don't think so. So, very short timing. So we have learned Fuchin. Good news. Maybe I can still collaborate. Oh, lucky me. Still works. Oof. Alright. A crooning whisper haunts this room. It must once have been luxurious, and it will be again once I have it restored, but I will need help to lay the restless presence that drifts here. Alrighty. It's a rainy day. Rain is an interesting weather. Okay, so we got this 7 chamber. In the days of the dwarfs, this chamber was reserved for the heir of the house, though it was originally furnished for Heffren, the woman of uncertain lineage, who became Baron Walter's mother and bequeathed her unusual pale eyes and hair to Walter and his descendants. Yeah, I've heard about that woman already. And we're going to put some flowers here on the... oh no, we're not. I like to use the Grand Ascent for storage's sake. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. So, let's see. Fuchin, Heart 2. Let's see if I can not wrestle some insight out of this. So with the Fuchin, we have access to an easy point of knock. I also want to check out if I can't do something for my book here. So it's a Grail challenge. I can master this mystery. Brilliant. Oh boy. I think I've made it much harder than necessary. Oh boy, I think I think I know what will pop out of that book now. Oh, The Artist. Dada was a start. The Surrealist Manifesto, a step along the road, but only a step. The road goes nowhere, unless it goes into the wood, and that's a road we can only walk in the dark. Wait, no, not in the dark, in blood. Hip deep in blood. Oh, shut up. Give it to me. I'll write it. Okay, yeah. I wanted hubris. This is as insane as it possibly can get. I'll be turning back on the camera in a few minutes again. And yeah, we get a boatload of skills here. Oh man. Oh, I gotta remember this now. What now and once and forever. I could have had skills all the way along. Well, I'm smarter now. That's good. Okay, desires and dissolutions. Okay, so I have now 2 lessons left for Grail and for Moon, but most importantly, we're going to assign these to the skill board now. Leaves and Thorns already has its place. This one has the same... Wait a sec, that's Bosk and Preservation. Yeah, Bosk is already taken. So... The oldest living hours are the gods who were blood. The gods from stone were older still, but they're buried in the earth, scattered in the sea, lost to the moon. This is why we are always careful where we make the sacrifice. Without it, the gods from stone would pass from memory. This is preservation. Well, that's just gibberish to me. In case it is just gibberish to you, it's also gibberish to me. So don't you worry. Horomachistry. That is something that has something to do with the sky. That's all I know. So, let's see. What begins in light may end in flesh. Without distinction and perception, pleasure cannot be distinguished from pain. These traditions are horomachistry. Yeah. It'll give me new skills, most importantly metal. Pachin can also be placed here. Oh, that's a long read. So, the Queen's Weapon. There is a story known to smiths, a queen whose realm was invaded by a great army. When she learned that there were 9 invaders for every defender, she ordered her army to surrender its swords. Night and day her smiths labored to melt down the swords to bronze, while her generals threatened mutiny and the enemy advanced unhindered. They used the bronze to cast a bell, but each time the bell was rung, it cracked and had to be recast. At last, on the night before the invaders reached the city, the queen surrendered her crown to the casting. When at dawn the smiths rang the bell, it cracked the moon like an egg and drove the sun from the sky. The invaders fled, but the queen without a crown was no longer any queen at all. Alright, what's the other story? The Queen's Wound. There is a story known to painters of a queen who could love no other, neither woman nor man, but only her own image. She sought 9 colors to grace the image, and the last was the turquoise of her eyes, a gift from the shadowless king. Her court poet hymned his queen and her image, and in his poem she heard the truth, that the image was greater. So she fled into the wood, and the image ruled her domain with the poet as its consort, but it always remembered her kindly. That's a flippin' spooky story. Imagine being replaced by your own image because it's better than you. I like the weapon story more. And it also opens up Whist, which is one of the traits that I was completely missing. Okay. So the 2 lessons that I got, I won't be using them right now. The thing is, I need to level up skills to a higher level to place them on the board. The center circle needs only level 1, the outer circle needs level 2, and so on and so forth. As you see, this goes pretty far, all the way up until 9. So I'll be not using the lessons right here, because you can upgrade skills with lessons. Indeed, Rababaslavs, indeed. That's very well said. That's also one of the stories I love this game so much for, in all honesty. There's something very special in the writing of this game that I really don't find anywhere else. Reverend Timothy enjoys thoughtful conversation, prayer, and tea, and he'll offer his assistance in return for a 1 shilling donation to church funds. So I can finally recruit Reverend Timothy as well if I need to. That's a big step forward. Currently, I don't really need that, but okay. So that got me really a foot into the door. Although I find it a little bit embarrassing that I forgot about reading my own journal for so long. But yeah. There's just so many things that you can do. So, the Carisham Portolan. 6 moon. Well, we just need more powerful weathers to get us through the reading process early on. Codex Acephali, rank 10 moon ore. Ugh. Not easy at all to digest. Moon books also tend to be really messed up content-wise. They compete closely with Grail books. Grail books often make me rich. Somehow, in my inner feelings, touches me at spots where I don't like to be touched. Is all I can say. Now then, we have certainly not really many things we can use here. The Ruinous Hall. Let's see. Yeah, well, we gotta wait for tomorrow. So... what's the weather today? Gale weather. Ah, finally some strong weathers. So we got sky and hot out of that. I highly doubt that I have anything. Oh no, Fuchin's actually a hot language too. So that makes 5 ranks of hot already. A 6th rank of hot due to health. Boy oh boy, maybe there's something we can read today. 6 ranks of heart is a pretty strong start. Probably. 4 forage. I have already 2 forage here. So... I know I haven't forgotten the camera, don't you worry. But when I stream that long, it is a relief for me to have it off for a while every now and then. Beg thee forgiveness. So, we got 1 slot of knock. Shoot! I don't have any book that would benefit from that. Oh man, that's sad. Well, then we're going to plow through the Grand Ascent, at least. That's the least I can do. That gale weather will get me through there. It's a little bit sad to do it like that, but whatever. Ah, Slavs, I like your remarks, and yes, I've read one particular wonderful book about the accountings of a ghoul that he made while they were doing rituals while he was eating. Oof. Yeah, good stuff. So, let's see. Oh, she already has a pretty nice hard aspect here for herself. I won't be buying any of these currently. I'm saving up all my money for languages. Okay, so might as well start here. Grand Ascent, ground floor. The stairs here are clear, but the air here is thick with old magics. I should move carefully, and I should not go alone. Still no sign of any fire. Why then was the house abandoned? Good question. I might not have any knock on my character whatsoever, but I'm going to take the risk nevertheless. We're going to use the occult scrap and the fuchin, then hope for the best. So, relevant furniture and weather. Well, we don't have any weather, but furniture. I really hope that I will have something that has at least a scrap of knock influence on itself, although might be difficult at this point. Yeah, that's nectar stuff. Heart. Nectar. Grail. More grail. Moon. Dang it. Yeah, well, looks like we're unsuccessful in this attempt. Or maybe here? Winter. Heart. Sky. Moon again. Lantern. Ah, too bad. Ah. Well. Sometimes you're just not lucky, eh? Okay, so that book won't be going down. I mean, at least nothing bad happened. Like, my skill is not fried or anything. Okay. Still sort of sad about that. I did get a memory out of it, though. Hindsight. A wintry memory. Together with my whist. That is enough winter for a challenge. Something was with 4 winter around. Yeah, let's do this. Except for the fact that doesn't work. Because with, or wait a sec, Mr. Kill? Huh, that works, that works. Mr. Kill is, 2 winter strong, so it'll actually be enough to add the hindsight memory to him. Brilliant. If nothing else, I'm at least making progress in unlocking the house. There we go. The windows are tightly closed. The carpets, jeez. The carpets surprisingly clean, but my skin prickles at the watchful presence in the stairwell. We will need to placate it before we go higher. So, grand ascent, ground floor. The staircase that served as the spine of the house. Baron Walter's great project, executed by the master mason Gregory Wheelock. Okay. And the first floor. By long tradition... No. Oh no, that's... it's the same text for the first and the second floor. Now that explains a lot. Okay, so... these 2 chambers here are extremely desirable, so... in the coming 2 days, we're going to work on unlocking these as hard as I can. There's a lot of books hidden behind these walls, and Storm! Hell yeah. So, Sky, 4 ranks, and Heart, 4 ranks. Doesn't get me anywhere here, though. So... that is surely quite a little bit annoying. Well, let's see if I can do something with that storm. I mean, sadly, I don't have just 2 more Sky available anywhere. Sky is a matter of Fost, and I don't even have that attribute right now. And let's see. 8 Heart. Well, and it's written in Kilisimi. Never mind. Not even going to get close to that because we are not even speaking that language yet. So, 4 ranks of Forge. Seems so oddly close yet so far away. Moon Mystery, well. Wrapped in the King. That's the ghoul eating story. 10 of 10. So, I don't have any heart. No, I do have heart. So 6 heart, 7 heart. There is a decent chance that this will work. I don't have chore, so I could, with that I could add in even more heart. But I have now a fair chance that there will be a opportunity to smack in a new soul card. So extra effort soul, already done. There we go. So, Wrapped in the King, detailed accounts of secret bacchanals and ecstatic dances observed in necropolises and graveyards in southern Europe, in Egypt, and in Anatolia. The author is a self-confessed ghoul, an eater of buried flesh. He claims to have witnessed the dances while at his feasting. The dances draw from the traditions of the mysteries of the cults of Isis and Cybele, but include both symbolic and literal flayings, and the human heart is always central in the rites. The author punctuates his accounts with queasily sensuous descriptions of his own interrupted feasts. At these greater feasts, a black pig is always crowned as king before its slaying. On this occasion, its heart was weighed in the balance against a knot of feathers, and its skin became a cape for the efficient. Its flesh was left for the crows, but I must confess my interest was not in its carcass, but in the perfumed flesh of the milliner laid fresh in the earth. Yummy! But we got ourselves an Earth Sign book, which is really, really massive, and we also gained the skill Drums and Dances. I hate this book, though. In case you don't know why, I don't know what's wrong with you. So, this book produces this memory here, 2 nectar to scale. And I will catalog like this henceforth. To nectar to scale. Earth Sign is really, really cool, as it is also a persistent memory. It'll not go away next morning. Okay, let's learn that new stuff. I can't even level up that to a 2nd level, and in all honesty, I'll do. So, here, there. That has the lessons consumed right away, and I have a pretty strong skill here. And luckily, I have enough Horomachistry and Bosk unlocked that this one here is actually necessary. The heart, the thunder skin, the eternal drum that beats to preserve the skin of the world, is a god from flesh, which is to say he was once mortal. But the horned axe, last of the gods from stone, required his death, and so the Grail gave him up, though he loved her. Love is always subject to the will of the hours, as all Horomachists know. Okay. I've learned out of this that the horned axe is an actual god. I've heard the name of the horned axe quite a lot in the lore here, but well. The thunder skin, the eternal drum that beats to preserve the skin of the world, is a god from flesh, which is to say he was once mortal. He died to preserve the last god from stone. He died for love. He died for necessity. And matters of Bosk, these 3 are often intertwined. Well, I'm gonna go for the Horomachistry, because I don't know. I like that story more. Exactly, Rababus laughs. That's what's happening here. We're going to go through all the dinner party and cooking fun together in this run. That's why I'm doing a long play here with all the narrative, so I try to give this the air it deserves, you see. Okay, so the day is already pretty close to its ending, but I do have quite a nice, fresh amount of soul cards at my disposal. That's really, really good. The only thing that bothers me most is that I don't have easy access to these. So I can get 2 points of rose via a, well, via book. Yeah, we can do this, but not today. It's too late for today. Okay, well then. The extra points are not necessary for this one. I'll be fetching them some another day. But we're going to do one thing. I just realized that I can read just another book just fine. All I need to do is get myself another Earth Sign memory. And then... well, alright, it is not as super easy as I'm depicting it, but it's gonna work. I can already see that. Alright, so let's see. It's the last bit of autumn. Yeah, we're going to go for... No No, I can't sacrifice my fit today. I need that still. For tomorrow. My tryst, though, I don't need that badly. So let's go gathering. Like I said several times, I might not need it now, but I will need it later. Crafting materials that you gather there are absolutely invaluable. And what I got now, I don't need to collect later. Curious seashell. Okay. Scale and... Alright, what's the weather today? Clouds. Ugh. Yeah. Me so happy. So, Stolen Histories. That one will be easy to read. At least I hope so. I mean, I got Earth Sign for 2 of these. And I got Health for the 3rd point of scale. But I don't have any other skill that could go in there. So we're going to go for this like that. But I am going to go for a little bit of a trick here. So we're going to read Wrapped in the King yet another time, but on a disc. There we go. These two now run on the same timer, but if I get an opportunity to score in another memory, this will provide exactly the another memory that I need. So what do we have here? Extra effort, soul, weather, and memory. But, well, the extra soul effort is already all we need. But as you see there, I could have tossed in the Earth Sign now if I only would have had access to memories, for example. So, book time! Stolen Histories. The agitator and pamphleteer Alexander Sparrow inveighs against the monstrous serpents, thieves of history. Sparrow acknowledges 5 histories, insists that 3rd history may be overrun by coils, warns the 5th history is already lost. Sparrow, with his usual paranoia, appears to be conflating the horror of the Worm Wars and the Great Writhing with activities of the Great Hooded Princess. Still, he draws thought-provoking comparisons between the princess, normally conceived as exotic Knocklong, and the widely feared worms. So the Hooded Princess are Knocklong. Now that's the detail that I didn't know yet. But those worm fellas, I don't know nothing about these. They're just always pronounced as some super scary, super old threat from the ages below. So I got me a fear memory. That's to scale 1 edge. It's really good. I mean, at this point of the game, all memory inducing books are absurdly valuable because everything now helps so flippin' much. Okay, so we're going to get ourselves a gossip together. I'm going to need the fit for the gossip still. Is there anybody here in town that has an innate rose excess? I don't think so, honestly. But it's not that much of an issue. So, there we go. And now let's learn Coil and Chasm. Talk about gossip with Mrs. Kill. Worms, 7 coils, dangerous places, how earthquakes are bound and why they are released. What a wonderful skill tree, isn't it? Real big fun will start when I have access to the crafting benches. Proper access to crafting benches, that is. Okay, and now, bottoms up, Mrs. Kill. One nice whiskey to seal the deal. Then Lauren's old protections hang heavy in the air here, clotting the air with shadows. I'll need counter-influences to unwind them. Yeah. But this room will get me going. There we go. You see? That's what I've been talking about. Reading room. Visitors were usually permitted in this far into the house and no further. In the days when the librarians commanded the services of the fine takers, visitors were sometimes even left unsupervised. Okay. There's some fine tea standing here. I will take that and position it somewhere else. Well, currently, I'm rather limited in my room, but I do like to have my consumables on one spot. You surely understand. So, this is also going to be the area where all my indigestible books will be stored at. Everything which isn't which isn't read yet, will be stored in here. Because this is one of the rooms that has, relatively speaking, really some of one of the highest densities of bookshelves in the entire game. So let's do this like that, and it's time for the great book migration. There we go. Mutant Thoughts, thanks for your kind words. Just doing my job, but appreciation is one of the sweetest things to receive. Hope you have a fine time. Okay, so we are putting down these. So, any books left? These ones. All the other books that are left are already categorized. Oh, these ones. Okay. There we go. So, one last book to be sorted out. And now the great cataloging efforts begin. So, the Invisible Opera. So, sadly, all my skills are exhausted. So, Coil and Chasm, is that something we can still apply? Yes. Serpent, the night arts speak of the savage door to which Echidna, mother of monsters, keeps her savage key. It was the means by which the gods who were stone entered the Menses, for Echidna was once counted among their names. All scholopsophists seek to understand what this might mean. Peacock. The night arts teach that the Peacock Gate is the highest door in dreams to which mortals may aspire, but that before she rose to this estate, the gate was a name of the horned axe. All Nyctodromists seek to understand what this might mean. Well, at this point I am aiming for what unlocks me Shapt, as this is finally a knock-giving skill. And, I've been out of knock since a while now. Okay, sweet. Sunny weather. Sunny weather. It's pretty much what I've been waiting for. So, sunny weather. Doesn't really help me though. I don't have enough lantern. That's 3 points of lantern. So then on the other hand, a tool. And Reverend Timothy. Yeah, that'll work. Reverend, please. Shut up and take my money. So yeah, that'll work. The thing about the Reverend is that he comes with a built-in rank of Lantern that makes it a breeze. There we go. We just have to arm this fine young gentleman with a mirror scope. Good to go. Wonderful. Boom. A tarnished brass sign on the door clearly reads, "Smoking Room." Rags of very old smoke sway restlessly, hazing the room beyond. What remains of the protections Van Loren once placed on it, and yet still no sign of a fire. All right, so we're gonna have our head in the books now for a while. These all need to be identified. The wonderful shape. There we go. Smoking room. Home to quite a lot of unidentified books as well. Westcott room. By God, sir, we shall have no cigars in the library, and we shall have no house without a smoking room. Dr. Ambrose Westcott. Yeah, that's in this time quite a conundrum. Colors in the liver. Mmm. Ah. You see, Grail literature. I mean, in this case, it is not even literature. It's a movie. Doesn't make the whole deal better. The Beekeeper's Ends. So, currently, if I run into a book that I can't easily read, I will do that. Here, a true and complete accounting of the Asclepian mysteries of the roots of the house. So this one is a hard book. Let's see. It's written in Greek, so I can't easily read it. Brilliant. So let's see. Yeah. I have 1 point of heart in my health, 2 points of heart in Fuchin. 3 points in drums and dances. So that book will be no problem whatsoever. See, that's why I directly upgraded drums and dances when I had it. So, descriptions of the Asclepian mysteries, reproduced by one Riley Grease, from supposedly a much older text. It's unlikely to be genuine, but it makes the reference to the house without walls and its wood, right there in the prologue. And if you are somewhat into the lore of Cultist Simulator and this world, this reference does say a lot. So, the direction of death is down, the book explains. The peacock door has been considered a rent or an abrasion, but in some respects it's more like a mouth, if not a more treasured point of entry. Discussions of the doors include a rite which may conjure creatures through those doors, although key incantations are missing. So we gained a impulse memory and a lesson in weaving and not working. So the impulse memory is pretty cool, as it gives me finally access to the moth aspect. So we're going to put that down here. That's moth and and nectar. So impulse, 2 moth, 1 nectar. There we go. Putting that book back there. If I ever need to conjure up a memory of that, I now will find it there. I found this method of cataloging books like this really, really invaluable. Alright. That's a wonderful description of a skill if I ever saw one. Alright, so let's see. Do I have anything else that I can put on the skill board here? Weaving and not working goes here into birdsong. Cut a thread and the tapestry remains. Birdsong follows the thread. So I'll be taking that as I finally will get a soul aspect that has heart, namely Chor. And here, a invitation of TRN Limited. Wonderful. So now I can really order things. Well, Dave, it has a distinct connection to Sunless Skies. The the development studio that made Sunless Skies and Sunless Seas was once the people that made Book of Hours and Cultist Simulator were once working for that corporation, and then they split themselves off to found Weather Factory, which is the developer studio behind Cultist Simulator, Book of Hours. This is why you have that feeling behind those games. And in case you're familiar with it, Fallen London is the full circle then, which is a browser game, and a quite good one. Alexis Kennedy, that's the name that you're looking for. He's the author of all this goodness here. So, Lieutenant Arthur Thomas Moore, retired. Hero, pilgrim, trader. He'll always be a soldier, but never again can he be only a soldier. He's speaking Zebzine, so I'm gonna pin him down to teach me some. There is no second guesses on that. If you have early on the opportunity to learn new languages, it's pretty much always worth it, in my personal experience. So, let's see. We're going to keep cataloging books. That's the best thing that I can do right now. You're welcome, Smurfton. I'm a big fan of the work of Weather Factory in general. I don't know. They this fictional world touches my fantasy at places where I really I don't know. I love that. It leaves up much of the horror to your imagination. There are a couple of very direct approaches to shocking you in terms of language, but it always avoids the gore and the, well, the habit of just pointing at something and saying, look here, that's disgusting, now be impressed. I must say this is to me personally something really, really special. Anyways, I have sadly exhausted my shaft for today, but I just realized that I can by now, or should by now, be quite capable of getting these books down. Knock aspect is quite hard to come by before you got yourself your first skills. So let's see. Well, we're gonna get there. Problem is that I still have nothing that has 2 ranks of knock aspect. The setting of this one is you're playing as a library keeper in the year 1936 in a alternative history of our world. A world where there's much more occultism happening. The entire world history is completely written different than ours. But the outcome of the world that you're living in, looks like the one that you are familiar with in the year 1930 something. The fun part is that you're discovering all the different history
that this world has, by playing it. So one very easy example is that the Gothic period in this world is labeled the Solar Gothic period. This is up to you to decipher why it is called like that, but it is, if I'm not mistaken, in a very similar epoch than our compared to our Gothic epoch. But whatever, they are familiar terms, but you will be constantly struggling and trying to understand what things are and what is different in this world compared to ours. Well, as far as I know, Sunless Skies has been made long after Alexis Kennedy and Lottie have left for founding Weather Factory. So I think, as far as I know, Sunless Skies is pretty much untouched by the works of Weather Factory, as far as I'm informed. I would need to stick my nose into that a little bit deeper. Yeah, I don't think you can finish that quickly. The only ending that I've found so far that is supposedly a quick ending is unlocking this room back here, and it requires skill checks deep down in the double digits. Fallen London is fun. I didn't go deeper into it though because I personally have a high dislike towards these I call it energy-based game systems where the game dictates how much I get to play off of it each and every day. I don't like that too much. But apart from that, lore-wise, it's been such a wonderful project. But yeah. You can just play this one and you get something very similar. That's all I can say. So, I've learned Zabazine, which sources me Moth and Lantern. Not bad. So let's see, can I put Zabazine on the skill board? No, I can't. Too bad, but not a big surprise. Yeah, Mr. Eaton is a little bit of a special one. Fallen London has a couple of very extreme game mechanics where you have to willfully set back your progress, like, a lot. I am still remembering a couple of these things, and yeah. I do remember that reading, the story writing was really, really amazing, but I guess personally, I assumed that that it's been Alexis's work all along that I've been just digesting there. He's one of my favorite authors in terms of if this guy would be writing books, I'd be absolutely reading them. But yeah, I am reading his books basically, all of them. Anyways, so let's see, what weather is it today? Winter is the season of extreme weathers, and we even get a storm today. Brilliant. So we could use that storm for the sake of progressing deeper, or for the sake of reading something. But either way, I really want to make use of this phenomenon. So, Ruinous Hall. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a cheap and easy approach to the Ruinous Hall. Just going to summon Miss Skill, talk about the storm with her, and then we're going to be just unlocking a new room. Simple. Cultist Simulator is a harsh game indeed. The biggest problem with it is that death can come so flippin' surprisingly suddenly. I've reached the point where I got the game into balance, where it was basically impossible for me to die as long as I paid attention to the death counters that you could rack up. But I never managed to do a proper ending, you know, one of the ascensions, only the weak endings. But yeah. This place was bright and busy once. It can be again, but it'll be grueling work to make it so. Not suitable work for a librarian. That's not true, though, I realized, though. The Exile DLC, I played through twice, even. But that's all the Cultist Simulator content that I played through ever. Yeah, but I really gotta say this this world gives me a feeling of how horror novels and that whole old school writing felt to me a lot. I don't know, it's hard to put it into words, but it gives me the same sense of wonder that I had when I was a teenager, reading cool books and all. Servants' Hall. Hendrik the Wolf, first Baron Brancrug, was granted Hush House after the dissolution of St. Brandon's by Old Copper-Nose, King Henry the Eighth. In an act of unusual generosity for that tight-fisted king, the grant came with the title of Baron, and rights sicut regale, like king, the quasi-independence traditionally accorded to marcher lords. Hendrik was clearly determined to live as befitted his new rank, and he expanded the house accordingly to support sufficient staff. Interesting. So, does that mean that Hush House is allowed to make its own laws? Fascinating. Now, there is not much books to be picked up here, but there's a couple of parcels. And, well, still cataloging those books. There we go. So, let's see. I have here a winter book, but I gotta be careful because this one is contaminated, actually. So, let's see. Grail. That's not helping. That earth sign I still have on me. Edge and scale. Nah, none of my books will help me here to get the job done there. Well, let's just keep cataloging for now and wait for good weather. Lion and the Glass. I mean, I consider myself quite happy and lucky to have 2 books with a skill level of 4 in my possession that we can digest rather sooner than later. The Labakine Codex, Lacabine Codex. Alright. It's also a contaminated one. So, I have identified all of the books up here. Nice. That's a very, very interesting challenge, Smurfton. I wouldn't say that it is impossible, as there are really powerful substances lying around in the in the house that I rarely used all of them because I'm a stingy person, especially with the powerful things. But well, probably. I mean, there is one spot in the house where you can get a book that contains a very, very powerful memory. I won't spoiler it yet. I'm going to get there soonish. So, that day is over. What is today? Gale weather. Okay. That is hard and sky weather. So,
That doesn't help me here in these areas. But let's see. Books with 6 sky are still problematic, as I don't have any attribute that would give me any sky points. Oh, my tryst has been damaged. Whoopsie. Oh well, we need to cure it with sky one day soon. Oh, it's not that much of a big deal. Must have damaged one of my attributes while identifying books. So, let's see. I want to keep unlocking things, I guess. So, 3 heart and 3 sky. There's quite a lot of rooms that we can go for here with that weather. Very cool. So it's going to be a very simple operation. So that's 4 points of hard honor. And after applying chore, we'll be at 6 points of heart. And that is enough to brave all the mysteries ahead of us. So just realized that these books went into the wrong direction. I need those shelves later for the sake of cataloging emotions or memories. Black nephrite. So there's a couple of books that aren't too high on the skill check end, which is at least something. So there we go. 4 rooms that I could unlock with this. Not bad at all. So I'm gonna go for the music room here. This room reeks like a rotting reptile. Curtains ripple restlessly with watchful presences that Van Loren left behind. Perhaps I can find someone to sing them to sleep. Let's lullaby it. Cardea's Delights. Okay. Quite shocked how many titles there are that I didn't find in my previous playthrough that I was playing off camera. And I'm still playing it off camera. Annals of St. Brandon's. Oh, yeah, that is a book that we're going to dip our nose into. That should be very, very easily breachable. So. Although, my tryst is damaged, which is my winter trade. Ah, well, there's always something. Musgrave's Sketches. Well, I haven't tried it how long it takes until the auction house runs out of books, but yeah. There's really a lot of books in this game. That's all I can say. So, that is quite a nice arrangement of rank 4 books. Somehow it's winter and knock all along. So, let's see. How could we get ourselves a nice wintry emotion? I wonder if talking with Mr. Kill in some way could do that for me. So let's give it a try. Ah, no! Never mind. I'm dumb. Trist is not the wintry skill. Whist is. I mean, Trist and Whist, come on. Give me a break. Either way, so... That's good. Let's see. Do I have anything here that we could use? No, sadly not. Not helpful. Not helpful at all. So, touching some things is a forge experience. Looking at something is a lantern experience. Eating something is a grail experience. So, all of these don't help me at all. Well. So we could add in a tool of sorts. That would give me only a third point, though. If I would get a wintry tool in there, that is. I mean, I could... There are tools like the Pale Mommet, which are even stronger. Then there's inks. There's a knife. That has 1 rank of winter. Is that all it takes? So... Well, we're still lacking 1 point of winter here. But I'll give it a try. The thing here is that I'm lacking memories that can produce winter attributes. Yeah, no problem. There's so many things where you can work around with something. Epiphany. But as far as I can see, it's a yellow one, so that won't really help me. Also things. Alright, I think we're saved. Also things is a wonderful category where you can get yourself hands on lots of stuff. But I think I'll use the bust of Mr. Solomon Husher himself. I think this is a very, very splendid way of reading my first winter book. Mr. Husher would be proud of me, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's been able to have these emotions, but I'm digressing. Annals of St. Brandon's. Over 100 years of the Abbey's annals from 1230 to 1350. That sounds boring. 3 events of particular interest are recorded. An endowment by Eva de Breaux's, widow of the Marcher Lord Guillaume du Black William, which enables an expansion of the abbey, the construction of the Winter Tower, which is dedicated to the Madrigard, and death by poisoning and arts unsanctioned of Abbess Nonna. Death by poisoning and arts unsanctioned. After Abbess Nonna's death, the double foundation is dissolved, and the monastery is reformed to accept only male novices. At this point, the ink changes. The helpful scribe explains that for the new foundation, the abbot has mandated Stargal, not Ugal ink. He outlines the differences. Use of inks of containment techniques with a sky, not nectar context, but doesn't trouble to explain why. Okay. Inks of containment. And regret. So I finally have now access to a proper winter memory book. Wonderful. So that'll get me somewhere to winter 1 forge. Yeah, failing books is also a cool way of getting emotions. That's true. So let's learn the inks of containment. It's a pretty nifty skill as it allows us to craft inks later. The inks in which the histories are preserved. Finally got me some winter skill. From this point on, reading winter books is a lot easier. This one, for example, I can counteract the infection there
It would contaminate my tryst or my health, but luckily it doesn't matter. We're not going to use tryst nor health, but we're going to use the inks of containment and this memory together to get to the point. So we should be able to read that. The 17th century mystic and antiquarian Claude Hersault describes divergent incidents in 5 major histories. An introduction to histories. The prologue warns at length of the iniquities of one Julian Cosley, a former colleague who Hersault now describes darkly as a worm of worms. It seems Cosley advised Hersault early in the writing of the book, but Hersault later became suspicious. Hersault identifies blood, silver, design, and the worms as the central axis of each of the histories, and claims that the so-called second history is the true one, if you say so. Snow stories and hindsight. Alright, brilliant. So, Raylith from the YouTube chat. I appreciate. My pleasure. Glad that I was able to help. That's one of the things I love to do. Thanks for your kind words. So, hindsight. That is winter and scale. Alright. Winter, 1 scale. There we go. With the help of these, it's going to become easier and easier to get through the skill checks now. So, as it stands, this technique is not fitting on any of mine. So, let's see. Ah, perfect. Desires and dissolutions, we can level that ink of containment thing up. Brilliant. Snow stories of wind, woe, and winter. Some of these sentences are literally made to be read out aloud. Much is lost, still all the winds, still every the beating tongue. Now still the mirrored moon, the sea's cauldron. When nothing's left, then nothing's undone. Hushery. That's flippin' scary. Enough said. Enough said. This is just scary. To me, at least, it is. Anyways, so we can upgrade the inks of containment with one of our lessons here, the hindsight memory, and just add in some whist. There we go. Inks of containment, rank 2. So we can slot that in here. When it is safe, certain knowledge is forbidden to mortals, except in 9 great libraries protected by the Covenant stones they hold, where this knowledge can be safely recorded in the inks called Encaustum Terminale. These libraries are together called the Watchman's Tree, and the Covenant marked by those stones shares that name. All this, then, is a matter of preservation. I think the library that we are currently in is one of these things. So let's see. Do I have anything that I can upgrade with desires and dissolutions which is not currently linked to my skill board? Not really, eh? Only Zabazine, and Zabazine doesn't share any stats there. Too bad. Doesn't come as a big surprise, but still too bad. So, what weather is it? Snow! That is a strong winter and sky influence. Nice. Okay. So, with all that whist of mine, we can get here already 5 points of winter together, and that's 8 points of winter. Yeah, we're going to read Eteria after, then. Why not? If you have the opportunity to read high-value books, you sure as hell should do. An anonymous erotic novel occasionally claimed to have been written by Eva the Wolf, although at least 2 duels were fought in her honor to avenge this slander. The novel graphically details Madame Ettery's various imprisonments, ravishments, and escapes in the debauched commonwealth of Tinctures and its neighbor, the pious Atrament. It becomes apparent that many of Ettery's lovers and pursuers, Catwing, Hansgall, Nilik, are transparent allegories for inks, and that Ettery is an embodiment of knowledge pinned to paper. To her mingled delight and dismay, the author only half commits to the metaphor. Okay, let's read that again. The author only half commits to the metaphor, though, and is clearly at least as interested in titillation as revelation. Alright, that's surely not easily readable. But we got ourselves 2 lessons in Inks of Containment and a hindsight book. So let's see, did I already have hindsight? I think I did. There was regret, and there's hindsight. Okay, 2 more lessons in Inks of Containment, which is not interesting to level up in so far, as I already have this on my skill board. So that's Moon and Winter. Well, guess I need to keep reading books, eh? So let's see if I can't get myself through this problem here with those there. So, the treatise on underplaces. I sadly don't have any extra knock resources, but I am... Wait a sec. Yeah, I don't have anything. But I am quite positive that I do have a chance. Problem is simple. Once you have the first of these notebooks unraveled, it's quite easy. So that's an extra effort for Soul and Duende. Well, sadly I don't have any extra knock, or do I? No. That shaft of mine was all I had. Duende looks a lot like Nectar Influence. Yeah, so... So... That sadly didn't go down as intended. So... Wait a sec. Didn't I have a shaft somewhere? There. Where did my shaft go? Game? Why did the book eat up my shaft? Ah. Oh, I got, A defeat when additional knock is present makes shaft vulnerable to accusers. Okay. So, we gotta cure ourselves. Alright. No probs. I need a bed with winter qualities. Foggy weather. And now I get that knock weather. Alright, at least I'll get a foot in the door now. That's good. With the Fuchin in combination, I get this down. Alright. So, you win some, you lose some. It doesn't matter that much. Alright. So we need to put 5 points of winter together. And I need a little beverage. So, first of all, there is some place where there's a glass of water just standing around somewhere. I just happen to have forgotten where. I think here it is. Yes, Isle water. Brilliant. It even has a winter aspect. So, we got some whist here. Here I'm camped on that one. So, the shaft of mine is going to be cured by 5 points of winter. You always need a drink. That is absolutely mandatory. Doesn't work without. And we're going to put 1 point of whist in there. And then we're going to put the Inks of Containment skill in there. And then 3 minutes later, our skill is good as new. The Treatise on Underplaces. Herein, the 17th century mystic and antiquarian Claude Hersault describes the bounds or underplaces on the borders of Dream. He warns that they shift over time. The walls of the manses, Hersault begins, are the size of starlight. Many of his directions are equally unhelpful, but common relationships do emerge. A picaresque account of a journey through a nightmare, interspersed with what might be partial rites. On the 18th ascent is the bud. On the 36th ascent the blossom. So, well, sucks that this is a fear book and not a pattern book, but well, shoot. Many notebooks are pattern books, which give you then new aspects that make it easier. But well, we've learned a new skill, horns and ivories. I mean, I don't want to be ungrateful, that's something useful after all. The hunter, the way, and their memories. Alas, my good friends, it's for me time to say goodnight. It's almost 3 hours in. I need something to drink, I need to see the toilet, and I'm also quite tired. So thanks everybody who's been around tonight. It's been my pleasure. I'll be back soon-ish, as soon as I can, basically. And I hope you enjoyed the show. So, enough said. Have a wonderful time.